So I apologize. I have to pick up that last video and do a part 2 because I just don't want to have to redo everything I just did. But the Minkiotti has a long tradition in Italy, going back to the 1500s, right? So is it not possible that this is the original image that somehow morphed into a central figure within a wreath, and these 4 directions, or the 4 winds, or whatever, the 4 corners of the earth somehow became understood as, the 4 evangelists, just like the earth card, which may or may not have kind of morphed into the Marseille moon card, right? Maybe this somehow, it's the same card, it's the world card, but the imagery here, maybe something got lost in translation and they realized it as a central figure within a wreath, and then the 4 evangelists is how they understood it. I don't know. I'm just saying, looking, my opinion. I didn't read this anywhere. No one told me this. I didn't see it in any source. This is my own original idea, but it's occurring to me that a lot of, maybe some of these cards were reimagined or understood in a different way. And then, of course, we have the angel card, which we, recognize, we call the judgment card, was the last card in the sequence of triumph cards. And it's the awakening, right? It's like the angel is now awakening. It's time. There's a message from above. There's a message. And for no particular reason, I sequence the pips in this order for no reason. I just do. So we have the Ace of Swords, very similar in concept. And remember, the hand with the batons and the sword, we've seen that in the Visconti cards. So although these are, considered an ancient deck, we do see illustrative pips, right? It's almost like Romulus and Remus, I think. We have a unicorn. So the fact that we have 2 decks from Florence, or the Tuscan region, that are so similar, so it just illustrates that Tuscany had, the Florence region, right, had its tradition. Okay, I got the numbers mixed up here. So they had their own tradition, and I'm not gonna. Oh, again, I guess I got them screwed up somehow. A little porcupine. Not sure what that is. And a little centaur with a mirror. I don't think that's a flame. I think that's just staining on the paper. Not from me, but from the manufacturing process. So point out that the infantrymen, or the pages of the, I guess we can call them phallic suits, are men. The knights of all the suits seem to be a centaur. And you see here evidence on the edges. I think that's of a folding technique. I think that's what that is. Now our cups, our Ace of Cups, maybe not the same style cup, but with the crown above it. But a similarity in appearing urn-like. And I'm not positive, but I do believe that the Etruscan had, influences by Turkey, which may account for their particular style of urn. Again, a monkey with a mirror. Five, 6, 7, 8. Quite a different arrangement. 3 rows of 9, 10, and then the female in the passive, what is considered passive suits of cups and coin. We have the female. A type of centaur with a snake body or dragon, kind of. The queen and the king. And then we have batons, again with the hand, which, originated with the Italian decks. Very similar motif. These almost look like the batons of the Burdell deck, which was, Swiss card maker. So it's possible that Burdell was influenced by this deck, particularly the batons. That's just my own observation. I never read that anywhere. So the suit of batons are pretty straightforward, simple. And again, because it's a phallic suit, the page or the valet is a male youth, no beard. And this centaur has hind legs and rather than the tail of a serpent or dragon. Queen and king. And now the last suit. Of coin. I do regret that I had to complete this video in 2 parts because of this stupid tripod falling over. It's makes it kind of difficult to do videos because I can't always see because I'm seeing everything through the lens of the camera. But I believe here we have an elephant for the number 4 card and an individual with a piercing arrow or dagger. I hope he's not going to hurt the elephant, but that's what it looks like. 5, 6, 7. And they share similar arrangement. Not all of the pips of this deck do that, but these coins do seem to share that commonality. And then we have the maiden. And another centaur type creature with hind legs. The Queen and King. So there we have it. Now, okay, so this is not a regular tarot deck, obviously, with 97 cards, but it does have all the Triumph or Trump cards. It has all the Pip cards. It just has, in addition, the elements, the virtues, and the zodiac cards, right? So, you know, I definitely use this. You know, I definitely use this. Now, I don't typically use it for clients, but sometimes I do, actually, you know, because they are getting a tarot reading. A lot of times I'll pull out one of these decks when there's a lot of questions about who, you know, or what will he be like, kind of thing. And you see, you know, you get those kind of questions, particularly on the hotlines. In which case, I'll pull out, you know, like I'll use the 78 cards of the Minkiotti as a tarot deck, and then sometimes to answer the questions of, tell me about this individual, or when will I meet him or her. You know, I'll pull out the zodiac cards because maybe that will help describe the personality, right? Or at least identify the sign of the zodiac they might be. You know, you know, like the you know, the element cards can help maybe even describe where they might meet them, or again, you know, describe personality traits like a water sign or a fire sign, especially if you know, especially if it's in agreement with the zodiac card. And the virtue cards too would help describe, you know, the better part of that individual's personality. So, you know, what I do, and I have used it, not typically, but I have used it in doing, you know, the kind of questions where I have, you know, I'm expected to answer in addition to whatever the 78 cards will yield. Sometimes there's not a whole lot of, you know, sometimes there's not a lot of clarity. You know, sometimes they want really, like, they want to know the time of day you're going to meet the guy. You know, sometimes, you know, and so I just find that, you know, with those kinds of questions where I can sense that the individual is not going to be happy with, you know, answers like, this is how you can go about finding this individual, or this is how you can go about, you know, meeting someone that you would like. Sometimes, you know, they're just not satisfied with taking responsibility, or knowing what they can do to enhance their chances of meeting a person, you know. And when I sense that, I'll go for this deck, and then I'll, you know, I'll flip the cards in addition to what the reading already says, to give us more information about the personality and the characteristics and the where you might meet them. If you meet them, you know, if I pull the Earth card, it might be like you're going to meet them outdoors. If I pull, you know, the Water card, maybe you'll meet them on a trip, you know, overseas. You know, it could be an airplane. It doesn't have to be the you know, a ship. You know, if I pick the Fire card, you know, you don't want to suggest that there's going to be, you know, a fire or anything like that, but, you know, some kind of exciting event, or, you know, some kind of heated, you know, kind of exchange between individuals. And air, you know, and communication, maybe online, maybe again travel. So I would definitely say don't fear or avoid using the Minkiotti as a tarot deck, because it is a tarot deck. It just has additional cards, which can only enhance a reading. But like I said, what I do is I take out, you know, I go from where we have the Tower, right? Okay, so I go from here. I eliminate these few cards. I just put them aside. And then I pick up with we get past the signs of the zodiac. And then I pick back up with the Triumph cards, which, you know, for whatever reason, don't have numbers on them. You just have to know them. And so what I do is I use the 21 cards plus the Fool, and then the regular pips. And then and I use this deck just like a regular tarot. And then with these additional cards, I use these cards to help identify characteristics, you know, what their best qualities are, right? Where they might meet them or how, right? You know, what locations, maybe also what sign of the zodiac, personality traits the individual might have. So when you break it down, you see that it's easy to read with the Minkiotti as a tarot deck. You just have additional, you know, features. So again, I apologize for having to do this in 2 videos. I hope most of you were able to follow the thread. I hate when that happens because I think sometimes, you know, you'll find this one, but you won't find the first one. So, or you'll find the first one, but you won't find the second one. So you know, if you wouldn't mind, if you watched both, if you could let me know that you watched both so I know that it was a success, I'd appreciate that. And I hope it's been helpful. And until next time, friends, peace and stay well.